Okay, imagine this. You're holding your phone, right? And you can ask it to describe some complex picture, maybe summarize a document, or have a pretty deep chat.
Without internet.
Exactly, without needing Wi-Fi or data.
Hmm.
And maybe even more crucial, your personal info, it never leaves your phone.
Right. That does sound a bit like future tech.
It does. But, based on these sources we've been looking at, Google's actually been kind of quietly building the groundwork for this.
Mm-hmm.
And they've just put something out there that lets you, see it working now.
Yeah, it's a really interesting shift. We've gone through Google's own AI Edge documentation, the code repository, the GitHub repo for this new app,
Right.
and also a TechCrunch piece covering the release. And what you see is, well, Google seems serious about making AI powerful and accessible, not just up in the cloud.
But right there on your device.
Exactly. Right on your phone.
So that's our goal for this deep dive, really. Let's unpack these different sources, figure out the important bits, and understand what this whole move towards on-device AI actually means for you.
Okay, so let's start with that idea. On-device AI, what is it? Based on the source docs, it's fundamentally about running those complex AI models.
The ones we usually think need giant data centers.
Yeah, those ones. Running them locally, directly on your smartphone or maybe in your web browser, even tiny embedded systems.
Got it. So instead of sending your request, say, halfway around the world to a server farm and back, the actual thinking, the processing, happens right there in your hand.
Correct. And the sources are pretty clear on why this is a big deal compared to, traditional cloud AI.
Okay, what are the main advantages they point out?
Well, first up, latency. It's way lower.
Faster responses.
Much, much faster. Because there's no network delay, no round trip. Things can feel almost instantaneous.
Yeah, that makes sense. Waiting for that cloud response can really kill the flow sometimes.
Definitely. Second big one, it works completely offline.
Ah.
Once you've got the AI model actually downloaded onto your device, you don't need any signal. No Wi-Fi, no cell connection, it just works.
Wow, okay. That opens things up, doesn't it? Travel, spotty connection areas.
Totally. And then the third one, maybe the one people talk about most, privacy.
Right.
Your data stays put, it stays local. You're not sending potentially sensitive stuff, photos, text messages, voice commands off your device.
That hits on a major concern people have with cloud AI, right? Where does my data go?
Precisely. It tackles that head on.
So just to recap from the sources, traditional cloud AI needs that constant connection, and you're sending data out, which brings up privacy questions. On-device AI aims to fix that by keeping everything local, private, and working, even if you're off the grid.
Exactly. Now, this isn't magic. It's built on something Google calls AI Edge.
Okay, AI Edge, what is that?
Think of it as the whole platform, the foundation, the set of tools and frameworks that makes this on-device stuff possible.
Reading their docs, AI Edge sounds really flexible. They talk about deploying AI across, phones, web, even those little embedded systems.
Yeah, they push the cross-platform aspect hard. The idea that the same AI could potentially run on Android, iOS, web browsers.
And it's not just tied to one way of building AI models either.
No, that's another key point. They stress it's multi-framework. Developers can use models built with JAX, Keras, PyTorch, TensorFlow. It's not just a TensorFlow world anymore for this.
Okay.
They call it a full AI edge stack. So that includes the frameworks, pre-built solutions, and importantly, support for the special hardware accelerators like NPUs that are showing up in newer phones.
Right, those chips designed specifically for AI tasks. And looking deeper into this stack, MediaPipe comes up. What's that?
MediaPipe seems to offer two things based on the docs. One, it provides these sort of low-code building blocks, APIs, for common AI jobs, generating stuff, understanding images, text, audio.
Okay.
And two, it's also a framework itself for creating more complicated AI processing pipelines.
Got it. And then the core engine, the thing actually running the models, you mentioned LiteRT.
Yeah, LiteRT. That seems to be the key runtime. It's designed to be really lightweight, like just a few megabytes in size. Tiny, but powerful enough to run models from all those different frameworks we mentioned. And crucially, one source explicitly calls out that LiteRT is the new name for TensorFlow Lite.
Ah, okay, so TensorFlow Lite evolved into LiteRT since, September 2024?
That's what the source says, yeah. So LiteRT is Google's engine for making AI run efficiently on devices, using whatever hardware it can find, CPU, GPU, that NPU.
Right. And they also mention a model explorer. Sounds like a developer tool.
Yeah, it seems like a utility for developers to Visualize what's going on inside a model, debug it, compare different models, check performance benchmarks.
Makes sense. A whole toolkit.
Exactly. It's a whole ecosystem. And importantly, this platform, AI Edge, it supports those powerful models designed for on-device use, like Gemini Nano.
Which we're already seeing pop up, right? Like in
Yeah.
Android's AI core system.
Yeah, AI Core on Android, and apparently even within Chrome browsers, built-in AI stuff.
Okay, so that brings us to the really concrete thing, the thing you can actually touch and try, the Google AI Edge Gallery app.
Right. This isn't just documentation. It's a real app.
And the TechCrunch article mentioned it was released pretty quietly, like end of May 2025.
Yeah, very low-key release.
Yeah.
Right now, it's available for Android. The GitHub page says iOS support is planned, coming soon.
And its purpose, according to the GitHub info.
It's basically a showcase.
Yeah.
It demonstrates what on-device ML machine learning and generative AI can do.
Yeah.
And it lets you, the user, download and run these powerful AI models locally on your own phone.
So it's like a portal. You find models maybe from places like Hugging Face.
Exactly. It integrates with sources like Hugging Face, which is this massive hub for AI models. You find a model you want to try in the app, you download it once.
And then
it runs completely on your device. No internet needed for the actual AI part after that initial download.
Okay, let's get into the features. What can you actually do with this app based on what's in the GitHub source?
Well, the absolute core thing is what we just said. Run locally, fully offline. That underpins everything else.
Makes sense. And I saw something about choose your model, so you're not just stuck with one option.
Yep. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You can browse different compatible models, often from that Hugging Face integration, and just switch between them.
So you could potentially try out, say, 2 different image models and see which one works better for you.
Potentially, yeah. Compare them right there on your device.
Nice. Okay, what about Ask Image? What's that about?
This lets you give the app an image, maybe one you take or one you already have, and then ask the AI questions about that image.
Like what?
The examples given are things like getting a detailed description, identifying objects in the photo, maybe even solving a math problem if it's written in the image.
Whoa. Okay, AI understanding images and answering questions about them offline on my phone, that definitely feels like a step forward.
It does, doesn't it? Then there's the Prompt Lab.
Prompt Lab. Sounds like experimenting.
Yeah, it's designed for what they call single-turn LLM tasks. So quick queries.
Like summarize this text.
Exactly. Summarize, rewrite something, generate a bit of code, or just give it a free-form instruction. They mentioned it has templates and settings you can adjust to.
Okay, so quick tasks in the Prompt Lab. What if you want more of a conversation?
For that, there's the AI chat feature that's specifically for multi-turn conversations, like having an actual back-and-forth chat with the AI model running locally.
Right. And for the tech-curious folks, what about performance?
Yeah, they include performance insights.
What does that show you?
It shows real-time stats, like TTFT, time to first token, basically how fast the AI starts spitting out its response,
Okay.
and also things like decoding speed, overall latency. Gives you a feel for how hard your phone is working.
Useful. And I think I saw a bring your own model option. That sounds like it's aimed at developers.
Definitely. If you're building your own models using that LiteRT format, the .task files, you can load them into the Gallery app to test them out on a real device.
Handy. And there are links to developer resources, too.
Yep, quick links to model details, source code, that sort of thing.
It's probably worth stressing, though, like the sources do, this is an experimental alpha release.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They're actively asking for feedback on GitHub bug reports, ideas for new features. It's early days for this app.
So if someone wants to try this out right now, how do they get it?
The sources are clear. You need to go to the project's releases page on GitHub.
Not the Play Store yet.
Not yet, apparently. You download the 8.3 file directly from GitHub.
Okay. And the TechCrunch piece and the GitHub page both point there. Is installation straightforward?
Should be for most Android users used to sideloading APKs. But they do mention a project wiki on GitHub if you need more detailed instructions or run into trouble.
Now, what about performance? TechCrunch had that line, your mileage may vary.
Right, and that's key. Performance is going to depend a lot on your phone.
Newer phone, faster AI.
Pretty much. Newer devices with more powerful processors, especially those with dedicated NPUs, will run things much quicker than older phones. And the AI model itself matters too.
Bigger model, slower response.
Generally, yes. Larger, more complex models need more processing power and will take longer.
Gotcha. And licensing. It's Apache 2.0. What does that mean for a regular user?
Apache 2.0 is a very common permissive open source license. Basically, it means you can download, use, modify, and even redistribute the app pretty freely. For most people, it just means it's free to use without complicated restrictions.
Okay. And just looking at the GitHub project itself, seems like it was mostly built by just two people, Jinjin and Yasser Modek.
Yeah, seems like it. Written entirely in Kotlin, too.
And it's already got quite a bit of attention, over 5,600 stars, hundreds of forks. People are definitely interested.
So bringing it all together then, why should you, listening right now, care about AI Edge and this gallery app?
Yeah, why is this relevant? I think it's because this isn't just some, abstract developer thing. This app is Google basically handing you a key.
The key to what?
A key to experience what powerful AI feels like when it runs privately, almost instantly, and completely offline, right there on the phone you already own, assuming you have a compatible Android device for now.
It's a preview of a different kind of AI future.
Exactly. A future where things like understanding images, summarizing articles, having complex chats, these aren't just cloud services anymore. They're built into your device. Always available, always private.
It makes those advanced AI features feel much more personal, much more immediate.
So, wrapping up this deep dive, we've looked at Google's big push into on-device AI through their AI Edge platform and this new AI Edge Gallery app.
We've highlighted those key benefits. The sources focus on the privacy, the offline use, the speed, and walk through what the app actually lets you do.
Right. And exploring all this leaves us with a pretty interesting question, something for you to think about. If really capable AI can live directly on your phone, disconnected from the internet, what completely new things become possible? What kinds of apps or tools could exist that you just can't build if you rely solely on the cloud?
Yeah, think about situations where you absolutely can't count on having a signal, or where speed is critical, or where the data involved is just too sensitive to send anywhere. What opens up in that world?